of creatives. The creative market is a multi-trillion-dollar market the world over, and it is right time for Jamaica to take its right and truthful place at the forefront of art in the world. Jamaica's culture is more than our music. Jamaica's culture is more than our sporting prowess.
According to the chief judge of the 2022 competition, master photographer Donette Zaka, there were 653 submissions to this year's exhibition judging. Ms. Zaka, in speaking with the Suncity News Center, said the caliber of entries were extremely high this year. Minister Terrelong underscored the remarks of the chief judge, lauding the visual art talent that has been homegrown for decades, saying it made him proud.
But as it relates to the visual and as it relates to the visual arts which is on display today, certainly, I think of the greats like Kappa who come to mind. I think of Edna Manley who come to mind. I think of Basil and all the others, from paintings and sculptures and just, growing up as a child, we would say, take your hand and take it on, make fashion. And that is what our Jamaican creatives do each and every single day. So I am happy that we have this exhibition on display, and I believe it will run until December. So I want to encourage all Jamaicans. When we talk about wholesome family value, this is what this means. You can have the children come to see what our youth are also doing. In fact, some of our youth awardees include, I'll tell you them just now, I believe one was Ariel Smith, what's her name? It's Ariel Smith. I remember because when I heard about young Ariel Smith, I thought to myself, wow, such an amazing young talent. So we have our youth like Ariel Smith, and of course we have adults as well who also have their exhibitions on display. So you don't need to go to the Louvre Museum in Paris or in London. You don't need to go to the newest in Germany. You can come right here at the conference center to see great works of art by our Jamaican youth and our Jamaican creatives. As a government, we pledge our continued support to the generation or regeneration of Jamaica's cultural landscape. And in so doing, I want to thank our partners at the JCDC, one of our agencies, who will continue to ensure that Jamaica's culture is at the forefront.
State Culture Minister Alanda Terrelong. Minister Terrelong walked through the exhibit and appraised the award-winning works.
In fact, you know what? If anything, clearly what COVID did was that it allowed our artists, to further bring out their creativity, so they clearly used what was happening, and they took that time, to immerse themselves in their work. And now we're seeing the production. I'm looking at these two pieces, and I'm getting, so with this one, it could easily be a tribute to Mother Earth, both of them. But this one, you look at our national symbol, the hummingbird, you look at the flowers, you look at this beautiful, powerful black woman.
The artists being awarded gathered with all being pleased with the efforts being made to maintain the survival of the Jamaican visual artists. They were especially pleased that their works have been chosen to be used in such a significant and auspicious occasion. Some of them shared their joy with the Suncity News team, but some had concerns.
But in terms of exposure, I think visual artists should get more exposure, like our athletes or musicians, because it's not much funding that goes into it to help us as an artist, especially Edna Manley. So there should be more scholarships offered for students like they do with UTech and UA for other traditional courses like finance and banking.
Some shared how COVID job losses spurred their art process.
So I was a pilot employed in Saudi Arabia, and because of COVID, ended up unemployed and of course locked up in my house. So most of the pictures that were taken over the past 2 years were taken in an area of less than 100 square feet, inclusive of this one. So basically, because you're working in a restricted area, I had to find ways of taking pictures that were beyond the basic, and it basically taught me how now to see things that most people will walk past, as for example this picture where it's pretty much out of camera. And as the interviewer asked, is it a real picture? So it doesn't look real, but it is a real picture. And by the fact that, as I said, there was limited opportunities, I now had to find ways of seeing things in a different way.
From the Suncity News Center, I'm Maya Chung.
You're listening to Midday News on Suncity 104.9 FM. The time is now 30 minutes after 12, and we continue with regional news. Birth control pills can help you avoid pregnancy, but they can also have other benefits. While birth control is the most common reason people use the pill, more than half of its users rely on it to regulate their period, relieve endometriosis symptoms, prevent ovarian cysts, and help with PCOS, cramps, PMS. Birth control contraceptive pills have been very easy to obtain in St. Lucia in recent years. But although the Pharmacy Act of 2007 states that contraceptive pills are a prescription-only drug, until recently, purchasers were often not required to present their prescriptions. The Pharmacy Council observed that many pharmacies throughout the island were selling contraceptives without a prescription, which is against the law, and has recently begun enforcing it. The Pharmacy Council said that the law has always been there, and they are just now enforcing the law. While contraception requires a prescription, morning after pills, emergency contraceptives, can be purchased without one. According to the council, morning after pills are a pharmacy-assisted drug that does not require a doctor's visit. The Pharmacy Act of 2007 states a pharmacist shall at all times have regard to the laws and regulations applicable to pharmaceutical practice and maintain a high standard of professional conduct. A person who contravenes a provision of this act, for which no penalty is specified, commits an offense and is liable upon conviction to a fine not exceeding $5,000 or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year or both. On the international scene, the European Union's Commissioner for Health is urging the bloc's government to step up their efforts to tackle the expanding monkeypox outbreak in the region, which she says is the epicenter of detected cases. In a letter to the EU's 27 ministers, the EU Health Commissioner Stella Kyriakides called Wednesday for a reinforced, concerted and coordinated action. She wrote that there was no time for complacency and that they need to continue working together to control the outbreak. Last week, the World Health Organization declared the monkeypox outbreak a global emergency. It is the WHO's highest level of alert, but the designation does not necessarily mean a disease is particularly transmissible or lethal. Similar declarations were made for the Zika virus in 2016 in Latin America and the ongoing effort to eradicate polio, in addition to the COVID-19 pandemic and the 2014 Ebola outbreak in West Africa. Kyriakides said the bloc's priorities at this stage must include stepping up the identification and reporting of cases and preventing the spread of infection. The European Commission, the bloc's executive arm, has secured the purchase of 160,000 doses of vaccines for the disease, and Kyriakides said 2 joint procurement procedures are in preparation for the purchase of further jabs and the antiviral drug Tecovirimat. And now for news in sports, Manchester United completed the signing of Argentina centre-back Lisandro Martinez from Ajax for nearly $58 million on Wednesday, a move that casts doubt on the status of much criticized captain Harry Maguire. Martinez signed a 5-year deal with the option of an extra 12 months at United, with the club having reached agreement on the transfer 10 days ago. Martinez links up again with recently hired United manager Erik ten Hag, who he played under at Ajax, in a signal that the team will have more of a possession-based style this season. Martinez is a ball-playing defender who is left-footed, characteristics that are highly sought after in the modern game. He is set to be deployed as the left-sided centre-back, a position occupied by Maguire. The England international endured a tough year last season as of United supporters during the pre-season tour of Thailand and Australia. Ten Hag also has Raphael Varane and Victor Lindelof as centre backs in the squad, so Maguire isn't guaranteed starter even if he has retained as club captain for the season. Ajax have already said the transfer fee will be 57.37 million euros, with a potential further 10 million euros for the Dutch club in conditional add-ons. The 24-year-old Martinez has played 7 times for Argentina. Now to end this newscast, we take a look at the main stories once more. On the local scene, entertainer shot dead, woman injured in Manchester. Wanted man charged for fatal home invasion in Westmoreland. National art exhibition to commemorate 60 years of independence launched for the nation's Diamond Anniversary celebrations. On the regional scene, St. Lucia enforces law requiring prescription for birth control. On the international scene, EU Health Commissioner urges reinforced monkeypox action. And in sports, Martinez joins Manchester United as potential threat to Maguire. And that's it for news and sports from the Suncity News Center at this time. Do join us again at 5 p.m. for more news on this station. Do remember to follow us on our socials. On Instagram and Twitter, look for us at Suncity104.9 FM and on Facebook at Suncity Radio 104.9 FM. I'm Jada Francis from the Suncity News Center. Do stay tuned for more right here on this station.